¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Hoy vamos a aprender a hablar como Bad Bunny. Have you ever noticed that Bad Bunny's Spanish sounds different? Well, that's because he is speaking Puerto Rican Spanish. First, Puerto Rican Spanish has influence from the Taino people, which are the indigenous inhabitants of the island. Words like hamaca or huracan, barbacoa, or even canoa came from the indigenous language. Then you've got African influence from enslaved people that were brought to the island. This affected rhythm, intonation, and even some vocabulary. And here's the big one. Puerto Rico has been a US territory since 1898. So English has massively influenced Puerto Rican Spanish, especially in urban areas and amongst the younger generations, aka Bad Bunny's generation. So some really cool examples are parquear, to park, from, of course, park, and then lonche, which is lunch, and then troca, from truck, and then anguear, from to hang out. And now for the linguistic features. Feature one, the disappearing S. The rule is that when an S appears at the end of a syllable or a word, Puerto Ricans either drop it completely, so vamos would turn into vamo, or they turn it into an aspirated H. So está would turn into eta.
Martínez aquí en Noticentro al Amanecer, así que Benito, buenos días nuevamente.
Buenos días, Ole, gracias por tenerme aquí. Hoy los maestros del sistema de público enseñanza.
Now for feature number two. In Puerto Rican Spanish, the R sound often becomes an L, especially at the end of syllables. Some really good examples are amor becomes amor, and then even Puerto Rico becomes Puerto Rico.
A my motherland, mi patria, Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico.
Now feature number three. The verb estar, instead of using the standard tú estás, Puerto Ricans often say tú tá or tú tá. So some really solid examples is that instead of saying tú estás bien, they'll say tú tá bien. And then if instead of saying yo estoy aquí, they say yo estoy aquí. And now for feature number four, the unique slang from Puerto Rico. And I'm going to put a bunch of their unique slang on the screen that you can have a look at and kind of like take in their amazing language. Now for feature number five. Puerto Ricans often drop the D sound between vowels. So some cool examples are, instead of saying cansado, they will say cansao. Instead of saying todo, they will say todo. And then instead of saying lado, they say lao. If you listen closely to Bad Bunny speaking or rapping, you will hear every single one of these features. And for those of you who stick until the end, thank you for watching. You guys are the real ones. And a quick question, would you guys like this to be its own series? Like how to speak like, and then with different celebrities showcasing different dialects? So some cool examples I have is how to speak Spanish like Shakira. And then of course, that'll be a video on Colombian Spanish. And then another one from one of my favorite players is how to speak Spanish like Pedri. And this will be Spanish with a Canarian accent. For those who didn't know, he comes from the Canary Islands. And then another one of my favorites, how to speak like Neymar, which will be a Brazilian Portuguese video because Brazilian Portuguese sounds amazing. And then another cool one is how to speak like Burna Boy, where I can cover Nigerian Pidgin English. So let me know in the comments.